All right, this is Rob Consu of Radio ITG. Going to be casting to you Cell versus Ancients in their first match of the semifinals of the Guild Wars Winterfest Championship Series. The Fire Isle here that we are on is a pretty heavily sided 8 versus 8 type of match. Pretty much in the beginning, you're restricted to fighting 8 versus 8 up front. Around back, there is a very, very short gank route in between both of the bases, but as we just zoom over there, we see big, nasty flame cursed sentinels that they do degenerate over time, but they're pretty bad in the beginning, but as the match goes on, you can very easily kill them, and I think at 15 minutes, they are completely degenerated out of the game, and you can gank pretty easily. But as we see right here, both these members pushing up low on the Fire Isle. It is the faster route, but you do go through that lava pit. Some heal parties or lighted deliverances or good stuff like that is going to heal you up, and they're going to go ahead and score off here at even ground on the flag stand. Just going to go and probe down on what Cell is running. We have Saki on a Dervish Warrior right there. Termites attack, Wild Blow, and Mystic Sweep right there. Featherfoot Grace to sort of chase down targets. He is crippled right now, so the effects of Featherfoot Grace are going to be waned. But basically, it does add quite a lot of single target spike that he can deal off with those Mystic Sweeps and whatnot. But basically, it's more of a pressure type tactic because you can hit up to 3 people around you with all of your scythe attacks. And as we see right there, Saki overextended up there going for that backline of Ancients and was taken down. So Cell, even though they are pushing in strong to the Ancients, they aren't feeling all too well as Saki was taken down, and Edic was almost cleaned off there a couple seconds ago. Some nice heals from Eric Claire and Redneck are able to revive them, and they are doing pretty well right now. Eric Claire lending off an infuse right there on Wise, and just going to go ahead and try and regen up both some energy and some health before they stick in for another charge in on the Ancients. Stepping on down to the Whammo, Flash Venom. In fact, the full name is Flash Venom Sword. But you might believe that he is wielding a sword, but that is not the case. He definitely does have an axe. Using You Are All Alone to cripple units, that pretty much is going to cripple anybody, or that is going to cripple anybody that you are attacking. But if they are next to somebody, that cripple never even goes off. And he's going to be using axe skills like Dismember to inflict a deep wound to reduce the health of the opponent by 20%. That is a condition that can be removed. And some other skills. I would imagine that he's going to be using Executioner Strike, and in fact, which we just saw right there. And possibly Critical Chop. He's also going to be using Frenzy to deal out those attacks at a much higher rate. There goes the Critical Chop, as well as gain Adrenaline, which is used to cast those weapon attack skills. And Adrenaline really isn't anything that I've touched on my cast before. And Warriors, as well as some other skills from the Paragon line, use Adrenaline, which is quite different from Energy. Most other skills in the game use energy, which is accumulated over time, and it pretty much works like mana in a lot of games, as it's called. It's your pretty basic role-playing type energy resource or number pool, which you pull from to cast skills. Adrenaline, you're going to gain 1 strike of Adrenaline every single attack you deal out. And you know, some skills are 4 strikes of Adrenaline, some skills are 8, 9, you know. Anywhere, I think the lowest is 3. And I say that with a big question mark because I honestly think it's 4, but somewhere something inside me is telling that there's a 3 out there. And pretty much whenever you attack, every single one of your Adrenaline skills gets 1 strike of Adrenaline. And if you use that skill, your other skills don't lose Adrenaline themselves. it is only that skill that does get reset to 0. As well as, like say if one skill has 8 strikes of adrenaline in it, it only takes 4 to use, it is going to be reset to 0, even though you have more adrenaline on it. And I think that's enough about adrenaline right here, as Saki, that Dervish Warrior, has bitten the dust again. Should see him get rezzed up here pretty quickly. Gonna see if anybody is wielding a hard res, which a lot of us use the term hard res to pretty much reflect any sort of resurrection skill other than resurrection signet, which we see Edic spawn off right there. And the major difference between a resurrection signet and a resurrection spell is the signet doesn't cost any energy, as every single signet in Guild Wars does. And resurrection signets have a recharge time of infinity, which pretty much means it's never going to recharge, except if you can get a morale boost by holding the flag stand for 2 minutes. That recharges all of your skills, even the ones that take an infinity to recharge. So they were able to pick up Saki. They had to burn a res signet in order to get that done, but they did so nevertheless, and they did it before the 2-minute res marker. Right here, I'm spying down on Edic of the Celebrities. He's a basic fire spammer build right here. Searing Flames, Glowing Glaze. I believe I saw Liquid Flame. And pretty much your typical fire spam skills. They're pretty much primarily used to deal around massive amounts of damage on multiple targets. And as we see here, Eric Clare has just gone down by the Celebrities. That is a big blow, being one of the monks, which is a healer in Guild Wars. And with that monk down, Redneck was not able to pick up Saki, which, even though being a Dervish Warrior and having a lot of health, he is getting incredibly soft right now. And by soft, I mean with the DP that has been accumulating on him, that is going to reduce his health and pretty much make him the softest target on the team now with 3 kills, even though he probably has the highest maximum potential health bar on the entire team because of that DP again. And we are also seeing the Celebrities roll with 2 Paragons. I have seen them roll with 2 Paragons before. I have not seen Angelic Bond being spammed off of any one of these guys. Just going to go ahead and spy on one of these guys to see if they are running an Angelic Bond. However, in fact, we see Devon is running Song of Purification instead of that Angelic Bond Blanket that, again, we've seen them run so many times before in the past. Nevertheless, these guys are severely protective based. Devon looks to be a little bit more of the offensive type of character, but he does have Stand Your Ground, which is going to increase the defensive capability of everybody within earshot. And in fact, it looks like Wise is running pretty much the same thing. He does have a Ballad of Restoration, which probably will not be copied. But yet he does have Go for the Eyes, with which both teams do, and that's going to increase the likelihood of a critical attack. He does have Incoming as his elite, which is going to reduce the maximum damage done on the members of their team by 50%. And I have to say, I'm a little surprised that they're not going to be running 2 copies of that Incoming in order to further blanket their protection, and instead running that Song of Purification. And just scoping out Song of Purification here. Pretty much what that does is the next 1 through 3 skills within earshot remove 1 condition from that ally. So basically, when you spam that off, as people use skills, they are going to be removing 1 condition from themselves. As we see, Saki has gone down for yet a 4th time on Cell. And what that is going to do for that 4th time, that's going to ramp his DP up to 60, and they will have to cast a resurrection skill on Saki, as he will not be base resed at the 10-minute marker. Either that, or they will have to score a kill on the Ancients in order to work off some of that DP on Saki. Saki was hard rezzed up and not getting all too much protection right now. He was a prime target to be stricken down again. And in fact, right there with some energy burn and some fire spam down on him, almost was taken off, but finally gets the attention of his backline and gets the proper healing needed to remain alive. And just scoping out here on what the Ancients are running and what they are doing so good to punish the Celebrities. They do have a whammo, which is pretty much the same as Flash Venom Sword, except for he does have a sword himself. He's going to be casting Sever Artery and Gash to not only bleed his opponent, but also inflict that deep wound that I said on the past is going to reduce your opponent by 20% health, but that is a condition and that can be removed. Also going to be casting Final Thrust, which is a massive damage skill, but will only trigger if your opponent is below 50% health. Also going to be using You're All Alone, just like a Flash Venom Sword, to slow down his opponents, but of course that opponent will only get slowed down if he is not adjacent to any allies. We see Aeroclair here on the Celebrities has been taken down again. I believe that is the third KO on Aeroclair, and unless if the Celebrities are going to be able to start killing the Ancients, Aeroclair will get to 60 DP again. And if they're able to get Aeroclair down and push them off of Aeroclair's corpse, Aeroclair will not be able to get resurrected. And pretty much it will be good game from that, as it will be incredibly hard for Redneck and Tass to keep the team alive. Edic, though, on Cell has been taken down and is deep within the flag area of Cell as they're getting pushed back into their base. That's not too much of a big problem, as in 20 seconds we will see Edic resurrect back in the base, along with Tass there, which was trying to get a flag up to the stand. He was killed, that flag was kicked back, and in 1 minute 39 seconds, we should be getting a morale boost on the Ancients. Going to zoom in here on the base of Cell and see if they're going to do anything to try and get that flag up to the stand. It is going to take a good minute without getting snared down at all by the Ancients in order to get that flag up there. And with 19 seconds left, they need to make a decision on if they want to try to do that now or just concede morale. And as we see 1 minute and 10 seconds left, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and concede that morale boost to the Ancients and worry about attacking the Ancients some other way. So right here, the Ancients are pushing in low. I say time and time again that you never want to push in low on the Fire Isle, as if Cell is able to mount an offense on Ancients and push them back, they will be forced to retreating from Cell through that lava pit, which is going to slow them down, give them 7 pips of degen, and it's not going to feel too friendly for the Ancients if that does come to transpire. Saki, though, was taken off. And as we see Flesh Venom Sword here, now that those Flame Cursed Sentinels have been taken down, he is going to be looking at pulling off a gank on the Ancients. But we see Red Carrick right here from the Ancients defend against that. He does have Blinding Surge, which is going to blind Flesh Venom Sword. And with that blind on a warrior, or really any melee character, that is going to cause 90% of his attacks to miss. Now we do see with Venom Sword being a whammo, he is going to have Mending Touch, which in fact was just interrupted right there. And Mending Touch will remove that condition. But as he was knocked down, again, that Mending condition was interrupted. And he was blinded there for a moment. He is going to be able to get that blind finally off. It is immediately reapplied by Carrick. And doing a good job of pushing him off. Going to go ahead and check out the base of Ancients right here, seeing exactly how aNc is doing. And it looks to be pretty good, despite having the additional NPCs. Cell is still unable to fend off this Ancient attack. Gonna zoom out here and check out those archers up on the front wall, and it looks like both of them have been taken out. And it's really not going to be too hard for the Ancients to do that, having those two fire spammers. Although Red Carrick is back at the base. Gonna check out Neb. He is up at the base of Cell, so he would have been able to spam off that fire on the archers and take them down. He's gonna go here and get a probe in on Memphis. Again, he is the Sword Warrior, dealing out some Sever Artery Gash right there. And that was on Aeroclair, getting him down yet again. But that's not going to be all too much of a big deal, as it would have been to get Aeroclair down back by the flag stand while they were pushing them in. As really, Cell has nowhere to run, and they should be able to pick Aeroclair up with a hard res with little problem. And I do believe that hard res is going to be coming from one of those Paragons by way of a Signet of Return, which we see Devon trying to get up right there. He was interrupted, and that's probably coming out from the Ranger Monk on Ancients. Going to spy him up right here. He does have Burning Arrow as his elite, but I would imagine that he's got a Disrupting Shot and a Savage Shot, which are both interruption skills. But apparently either those skills were recharging or whatnot, but nevertheless, he was unable to interrupt that Signet of Return. At 16 minutes and 26 seconds, aNc is still pushing into the base of Cell, trying to make some good plays here. Gonna scope out quickly the base of the Ancients. That archer there, which Flesh Venom Sword was trying to take out, is still standing, and it does look like he has returned to base to help out his comrades. And I'm not too sure on how much his effectiveness is going to be able to help out Cell here, as Edic was almost taken out. Some nice heals coming off from Redneck and Aeroclair to help that out. Gonna go ahead and spy in a little bit more on the Ranger Monk, the Burning Arrow Ranger Monk. He does have a Mending Touch to remove blind and other conditions from him. We do see both Distracting Shot and Savage Shot come off of him, and those were more than likely on Devon, trying to pick up Saki outside the base with that Signet of Return. That Ranger Monk also does have Troll and Jewett to help regenerate his bar and take some of the pressure off of his back line. And he is going to have the poison that we see getting applied onto Cell. That apply poison is going to make every single one of his attacks deal poison onto the target, and poison is going to deal 4 pips of degeneration on the target, or 8 health per second. And as you see right here, at 18 minutes and 19 seconds, Cell is resigning out of the game. Redneck has just been knocked off for the first time of the match. And as we look at the NPC count right here, the bodyguard is down, as well as all of those archers. And really all that's left is the Guild Lord, so Cell goes ahead and resigns and hands this one to Ancients. Thanks for tuning in. This is Rob Consu of Radio ITG.